What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Cinema Essentials. This episode is called Scan because Michael's backpack was left in the car and went missing. So Bellic and Geary team up to search for Michael and the others. That's why they gave it this name. If you're ready, let's start Season 2, Episode 3. I'm your host Theo, by the way. At the FBI office working 24/7, Felicia has sent word to all hospitals and clinics. If they don't go to medical facilities and just tough it out, when infections set in, they'll eventually have to show up at hospitals. Then they can easily catch them and send them to Fox River. She's also sent word that they're closely monitoring the family members and relatives of the other 6 escaped prisoners. Detective Mahone says the hardest part about any con in the world is just trying to stay alive. They've escaped from prison, have no money, need to steal cars if they want to travel, need to steal money. These are all things they'll do within 72 hours of escaping. So he instructs them to keep all intelligence up to date in real time. When they hear knocking at the door, Nika looks through the peephole and opens the door to find Michael and Lincoln Burrows. "Hey, what are you doing here?" she asks. Michael says, "Nika, we need your help. We need some chili powder, bandages, a bottle of alcohol, and everything from the kitchen." He has Lincoln sit on the sofa. When they pull up his pants, his whole leg is red with blood. They clean the wound with alcohol and sprinkle chili powder on top. "Don't try this at home, folks. You guys shouldn't have come here. The cops are going to search everywhere soon. I've helped enough already, but please don't drag me into this mess," Nika says. Scofield replies, "I know this wasn't part of our deal. Sorry, we had nowhere else to go. At first we planned to cross the border, but something else came up and we still haven't reached the border." After properly bandaging Lincoln with what they had, "You stay here. Nika will take care of what you need. I'm going to go find a car," he says. When Lincoln mentions that they ditched the car, they'll need to find another one. But it's not really about wanting a car. The backpack was left in the car. All the documents and information needed to escape are in that bag, so they have to go get it back, he says as he leaves Nika's house. Avoiding the police, he goes back to where they parked the car in front of the convenience store. But thanks to Master Magician David Copperfield's powers, the broken-down car has completely vanished. Looking at the situation, it appears someone broke the window and drove it away. At the FBI office, while Felicia is talking, Wheeler says they've got a lead on Scofield and the others, handing Detective Mahone the little backpack. When they dump out everything from the backpack and examine it, they find a cell phone, prepaid cards, and passport books. "These guys are starting to make mistakes," he says. Walking into the store all happy, he grabs a beer and asks the cashier if they have any beef jerky. "Beef jerky, you know, the kind that goes great with beer," he says. Since Bellic is talking crazy, not wanting to cause trouble, the young store clerk says okay, he'll go check. When Geary comes out of the bathroom all fresh-faced and runs into Bellic, not knowing what to say, they start cursing each other out with 1,000 different insults and get into a fight right there in the store. After punching and wrestling, sitting on the car hood in front of the store, "Sorry man, I couldn't hold it in, I had to let it out," Bellic says. Whatever they say, they both work together in the same prison, and when they both got out due to these incidents, they patched things up again. "The moment those guys escaped, we got screwed. We won't get our pensions, and we've lost all the dignity we worked for our whole lives," Bellic says. "Look at the bounty they've put on them. It's like their deaths are worth more than our lives." "Damn bastards," Geary replies. "Won't be long now. Someone's going to collect those bounties, and I want in on it," Bellic responds. Geary says, "If you're thinking like that, you'd better call me as your partner. Think about it. You're going after them. There's 2 of them and 1 of you. You'd at least want backup. So quit talking so much, buddy. You and I are going to catch those guys together and collect that bounty." Bellic agrees. From one side of the fence, someone is carefully watching the big car lot where tow trucks bring illegally parked cars. That someone is Michael Scofield, walking calmly into the lot. "Hey there, I stopped in front of the shopping center to eat some pizza, and before I knew it, my car got towed. The car's multicolored like a rainbow flag, license plate GG 123,456. Did you guys tow that little car?" he asks. "Tow that car? Yeah, I know it. The moment I saw that rainbow paint job, I couldn't stand looking at it, so we towed it yesterday. You can get it back. Towing fee is $60 plus $24 daily storage," the guy says. When he takes out some dollar bills from his pocket, the guy is satisfied. Wait a sec, I'll go get your car. At the FBI office, they're interrogating the anonymous person who broke the car window and stole the backpack. Tell us the truth, or we'll keep pressing you. Besides the backpack, what else did you steal? Tell us exactly what type of car it was, the design, color, everything. Detective Mahone asks. It was like a big shot's car, you know, a Volkswagen. Besides the backpack, I was looking to see if there were any clothes when the tow truck came, so I couldn't steal anything else. The car got towed away, he says, from a payphone near a house in some housing complex. Hey son, how are you? It's me, Sucre. Remember me? When he calls, if my friend Sucre is calling at this time, it's not normal. The way you're acting, I'm going to get caught too. What's the matter that you're calling? He asks back. Sorry buddy, I just wanted to know about my girl Maricruz who sells chicken rice. If I call her directly, the FBI is monitoring, and I might get caught, he says. Maricruz? You forgot, man. Your girl is getting married to Hector who sells pork at the weekend market this Saturday. He replies. Ah, then do this. Call her to your place in New York temporarily. I'm coming right now, he says and hangs up. After the call, he uses his most skilled subject, one of the 16 car theft methods, the window breaking and wire short circuit technique, on a nearby car and drives toward his beloved in New York. When the guy brings the car back, he checks the back seat, but the important backpack with documents is no longer there. The guy says, the broken window wasn't our fault. It was already broken when we towed the car. I'll fill out the paperwork for you. Sarah, who has recovered well, is being discharged from the hospital. That nurse looks familiar, she says to a nurse. Yes ma'am, I was a trainee when you were working at this hospital. That's why you've seen me before, she replies. While asking if she can call a taxi, 2 police officers arrive and say, we're sorry ma'am, but due to the incident at Fox River, we have to take you to the station. Once we get to the station, you'll have the right to call lawyers, and we'll try to explain everything according to the law. They handcuff Sarah and take her away. Just as Sarah is being arrested, Secret Service agent Paul Kellerman also arrives at the hospital and sees Sarah being taken away. Caroline, they've taken Sarah. We'll keep monitoring the situation, he reports. The guy gives him a paper to sign, saying once he signs it, he can leave. Just then, he hears a phone ringing and the guy answers. It's Detective Mahone from the FBI calling. He asks if anyone came to pick up the rainbow-colored car with license plate GG 123,456. Since Michael is right there, he quietly says, someone just came to pick it up. By the time you get here, the car might not be here anymore. Someone needs to release it immediately. Speaking softly so Michael can't hear, while glancing at Michael's situation. Sensing that someone is inquiring, Michael casually takes the car keys from the counter and drives away. Detective Mahone at the FBI office explodes. Where the hell are the teams? Haven't they reached the towing company yet? Wheeler says it'll be another 5 to 6 minutes. Sergeant C. Note, who loves his family very much, makes the mistake of calling home to try to explain. The FBI side now knows C. Note is making phone calls. C. Note says, listen honey, I've served my country with honor, but I got kicked out of the army because of some petty superior's whims and tricks. That's how I ended up in prison, and this situation happened. When the time comes, I'll explain everything in detail. Right now, I'm working on getting some money. Once I get that, you, me, and our daughter will live peacefully somewhere no one can bother us. When he asks if anyone has been inquiring about him, C-Note's wife says, no one has asked about him yet. Sue, remember the orange-colored restaurant behind the Shangri-La Hotel? The one where we always used to eat. I'll be waiting there next week. Bring our daughter and meet me there, he says. What C-Note doesn't know is that from the FBI office, they've intercepted and recorded everything he said. Felicia says, then I'll go to the orange restaurant undercover and show C-Note's photo to everyone and prepare everything in advance. The detective says that won't be enough. Go to C-Note's wife and, talking woman to woman, ask why she never visited Fox River and extract everything you can. He tells Wheeler, who's still on the phone, to put other matters on hold. We need to investigate Scofield's car situation in detail immediately and arrest him. When he gets the car and parks somewhere on the street, he waits for Lincoln and Nika to arrive. When Lincoln shows up, the FBI knows about this car now, he says, and Nika, thank you so much. I'm sorry for causing you so much trouble when we didn't expect it. If our luck doesn't run out, we'll meet again someday. The legitimate escape route is now gone, so let's go to Utah and look for D.B. Cooper's money, he says. Bellic and Geary team up and come back to the prison, asking a guard they know for a favor. The guard says it'll be a problem if others find out, but Bellic tells him not to worry. To Sanchez waiting in the cell, the FBI doesn't know anything about those guys, but they can't fool me. I know everything about you guys. What did you talk about when walking around the yard? For example, what would you do after escaping from prison? He says, even though I don't work at Fox River anymore, I still have authority over current workers. I have people who will do whatever I say. There are guys who specifically want to feed banana pieces to fat-layered guys like you. So, will you tell me everything Scofield and the others said? Should I sell your little butt? He asks. At the FBI office, they learn about the third mistake. Someone resembling Sucre stole a car. When they ask where, they find out the car was stolen near the six-way intersection in North California. With the stolen car, Sucre is driving frantically through the inner roads of New York toward California, while a little doll in the car nods its head at him. As Sucre exits New York Road driving as fast as possible, at the California entrance, traffic police on motorcycles are waiting in the bushes and following him. The traffic police turn on their sirens and signal for the car to pull over. Having no choice, he pulls over to the roadside. Is there a problem, sir? He asks. Traffic officer asks for his license and vehicle registration. Sucre searches around in the car and finds the vehicle registration papers and shows them. The traffic officer carefully checks and says the registration is expired, asking him to wait while he goes back to his motorcycle to report. Sucre watches the traffic officer through the car mirror, and the little doll keeps nodding its head. At the police station, Sarah's father, the governor, arrives and bails her out. Someone needs to take the blame for what happened at Fox River. We need to make sure neither daughter nor father becomes that scapegoat. So please follow exactly what I've arranged. The warden gave Scofield special privileges, like letting him access restricted areas because he was helping with the prison's infrastructure. And that's how he got the medical room key. Sarah says, "No, Dad, I can't say that. Actually, I opened the door myself." But, Sarah, listen carefully to what Dad is saying. Do exactly as I said earlier. If you don't, the consequences will be very serious. Next week, they'll announce me as vice president, and you'll be invited to attend. But you won't be able to attend, he says and leaves. Sarah has nothing left to say and just sits there. The two brothers are talking in the car when Lincoln tries to turn on the radio, but Scofield stops him, talking about prison matters. "You're right, brother. We should go back to prison," Scofield says calmly, and both brothers laugh heartily. When Lincoln asks if the tattoos were only for the prison break, that's right. The prison break was just the beginning. Now the really interesting stuff is about to happen. There's one thing. That guy we met in the elevator when we were trying to save LJ. That guy is worth paying attention to. It seems like he knows where we're going and what we're planning. If that's really the case, he'll know about Utah's money situation and our plans to cross into Mexico, he says, asking if he's ready. Then he calls a number and says, "Lincoln is with me and we've reached a location. If you can't come for some reason, call back at 969-388-348-844. Everything Michael and his team are saying is being intercepted by the FBI office phone lines." Wheeler says Scofield is sending voice messages for some kind of meeting. Sneaking into his daughter's school, he calls out to his daughter who's drawing. "Can you draw Daddy on the ground?" he asks. The innocent daughter happily draws her father. "When you get home, help Daddy with something. If Meme understands what Daddy told her, tell her to turn on Channel 7 at 7 p.m. he says. A teacher who doesn't know about his conversation with his father says, "Don't get too close to the fence." Detective Mahone and Wheeler are tracking Scofield's phone and following him from behind. When the office calls them in the car, they learn that Sucre is being checked by a patrol traffic officer on the road. So Detective Mahone orders Sucre to be arrested immediately. As luck would have it, just as it starts raining heavily, while Sucre is stopped, he sees the railroad crossing gate automatically closing because a train is coming from the east side of the road. Sucre also realizes something is about to happen. When the traffic officer goes to talk to headquarters and finds out it's definitely Sucre, he draws his gun from his waist and tells him to get out of the car with his hands up. But when he looks in the car, Sucre is no longer there. While the train is passing, Sucre quietly slips out of the car and runs into the cornfield on the other side of the road. If he had stayed sitting and waiting in the car, he would have definitely been caught. Lincoln and Scofield drive past mile marker 38, opening the car's odometer and driving until they reach the designated number. "Are you ready, brother?" he asks as he turns the car and stops. While the two quickly remove the bridge railing's metal frame, Detective Mahone's team also passes mile marker 38. They put the ham and meat packages they brought ready in the back seat into the car, turn on the radio, and get everything ready. Then they put the car in gear, and it crashes down into the ravine beside the bridge. Thinking they've succeeded, as they're running away from the bridge, they notice that the music from the car hasn't changed, so they stop running and wait to see what happens. At this time, they hear police sirens and ambulance sounds from far away, so Lincoln and his team quickly go under the bridge. "The radio must be jammed. If that car doesn't explode, they'll catch us," he says. Lincoln, relying on his expertise, goes down to where the car is without saying a word. Michael can only watch nervously from beside the bridge. Lincoln presses the radio tuning button in the car, and soon after, the entire car explodes. Detective Mahone's team, who were following from behind, also see this from a distance. When he reaches his friend's house in New York, "Where's Maricruz? I haven't slept in 72 hours. During this time, I've seen someone's hand get broken, been shot at with a gun, and had to dig a grave to bury someone else's body. So where's Maricruz?" "Son, Sucre, calm down. You hung up without listening when I was on the phone. The wedding location is in Fourth Wine. They left just this morning," he says. Finding the motorcycle keys, Sucre doesn't hesitate to take the keys and mount a nearly new, modified 1952 Ural motorcycle. His friend doesn't want to give up his favorite motorcycle, but since it's also his beloved younger brother, he tells him to bring the motorcycle back without a scratch. Sucre gets on the motorcycle and drives from California through New York Road toward Fourth Wine at full throttle. At a drug rehabilitation center, everyone sits around as Sarah introduces herself and talks about becoming addicted to drugs for the second time and her past experiences of overcoming addiction. At this time, an unexpected person says, "Hi, my name is Lance. I'm also a drug addict. From Sarah's experiences, I've decided to take the best lessons and become a normal person. I think you all know who this person is without me telling you." Detective Mahone arrives with rescue teams and local police at the car explosion site. The police chief says, "They tried hard to escape from prison, and before they could rest easy, the car exploded and they all died at once." "That's cooling," he says. When asked who he thinks it might be, Detective Mahone, thinking back to earlier events, suddenly says, "I think it's Shales," then realizes he misspoke and says, "I think it's Scofield," and walks away. Wheeler tells the police chief that Oscar Shales is someone Mahone has been searching for, a despicable lowlife, and they're still looking for him because they haven't found him yet. Detective Mahone, appearing stressed, takes a pill from a small bottle hidden in his shirt pocket among the crowd and swallows it. Scofield and Lincoln, watching the police investigation from a distance, cross a small hill and rest briefly. By now they think we're dead, so they'll shift their attention to other people. "Anyway, we can now calmly go to Utah and then plan the rest," Scofield says. Sergeant C. Note is hiding not far from his house, watching his home. As his daughter sleeps peacefully, thinking carefully about everything he said, his wife turns on the front light of the house. Only then does C. Note feel relieved, smile once, and disappear to who knows where. Nika, who received Michael's voice message, arrives just in time with a small car. Michael says when they reach Mexico, as promised, besides the $10,000, he'll send another $3,000 for car expenses. As the three, Michael and his team, drive away in the car, Bellick, watching from another car, tells Geary, "Little night bird Nika has connections with Michael and his team. I already knew that." At that moment, tomorrow's program has already arrived for you. Since I'll be presenting this series daily, one part each day, please like and subscribe to the Cinema Essentials channel. To all the supportive audience members, the Cinema Essentials team prays that you may be filled with mental health and physical prosperity. Thank you all for watching until the end.